All right, good morning, Guam. Good morning, Guam. And thanks for starting your day the KUAM way. Starting lineup, of course, my show. I'm Chris Barnett. This is a group chat. And we're live from Legislatura and Guahan, where they just wrapped up a resolution presentation declaring June, of course, it is Pride Month. And we do have some great guests on the show this morning. Let's go ahead and go down the line and introduce yourselves.
Dr. Bradley Patrick, chairperson of the Guam 5K and the March.
Lasia Casil, founder and president of Guam LGBT Pride.
And this guy over here, some rando,
Josh Tenorio.
Lieutenant Governor of Guam. And let's just talk about, I guess, first the 5K. I mean, this was, I believe, was this the first 5K we've had for Pride Month?
It was the first annual 5K we had for Pride Month, and it was amazing. We had over 250 runners, 400 registered, which is great. So people were just registering just to donate, with no intent to run, which is always amazing. We'll take that. But 280 runners. Lieutenant Governor and Governor both were in the event. It was a really good turnout. Great donor support. It was really, really awesome to see people at 5 a.m. getting up to do a run.
And traditionally with every type of month that we have, there's always a relevant 5K. And so was that kind of a no-brainer to add that to the Pride Month festivities this month or this year?
It really was. It was, every weekend, like you said, there's a 5K. People are very active at the island. They want to get up and do something. And going through the island and talking with people, it started that I couldn't go anywhere without somebody saying, the Rainbow Run 5K, we're going to be there, we're going to do that. There was a lot of support for it. So it was really amazing.
Lasia.
The governor actually placed in, I believe, yes,
second place.
The Magahaga division.
Magahaga, yes.
Yep, second place. Yeah.
She did the 5K, so we're very proud of that, yes.
And so I know that you're a tireless worker, both behind the scenes and in front. And I mean, last year you were really excited about Pride Month, but I mean, this year, I keep thinking, like, how are you guys going to top yourselves? But I mean, we've got the pride flags at Adelup. We've got them out here at the legislature. We're starting it off with a big, resolution. I know there's a proc signing later. How are you guys feeling for this year's Pride Month? It's pretty fab.
We've got a whole week filled with events. Thursday, we have the Pride Talk at the Guam Museum with a great panel of speakers, including the speaker, Bill Pesh, Major General Esther Agigi has been confirmed, Lieutenant Governor as well. We have the party on Friday at the Globe. We have performers coming from off island. And then we have the march and festival on Saturday. And every year it grows. The first one was a real challenge to get people to step out of their comfort zones. And for, our own community to kind of peek out of the closet. And at the march and festival every year, it doesn't fail. People show up, and I see the tears, and they're expressing to us that this is the first time that they've felt that they've had a safe place on our island. So it just warms my heart, and it's the drive and inspiration for this whole endeavor.
Let's get LT on here. And former Speaker BJ Cruz was up at the podium for this resolution presentation, and he used you as an example. And he talked about back in the day when he used to have to hide in the closet during public hearings because he didn't want to be judged, he didn't want to be condemned. Fast forward to 2019, first openly gay lieutenant governor in the nation elected right here in Guam, and he said, hey, parents, and this was really one of the things that I really appreciate what he said. He said, parents, accept your children. They can become anything. And then he pointed to you as kind of the example. How does it feel to be held up as that example?
It's awesome, very humbling. We all went through our different struggles, right? I mean, I was closeted for a little period of time, and I came out. And I came out because I didn't want to lie to anybody. I didn't want to be deceitful. I didn't want to get into a straight relationship and, waste somebody's time. It's just not me. It's so cruel. And a lot of people make these choices about how to live their life, but there isn't a choice about whether or not you're going to be gay. I mean, this is predetermined, and I think that my job, my influence is, your kid can aspire to do anything, and it shouldn't matter their sexual orientation. So many kids are alienated from their families. People get kicked out of their homes. They're homeless. And it's just got to stop. And I think if we go back to what the fabric of our community is, enough at Malik, to take care of your family no matter what, then we should have a healthier community.
Let's talk about ceiling busters. I mean, first woman governor elected, first openly gay lieutenant governor, really providing that example both to young women and to those who are gay. And 2019, people are still closeted out here.
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's a conflict. You're taught sometimes through religion that, what you're doing is a sin and it's wrong. And I think that if you take a look at it and if you just go and concentrate on basic humanity, then you'll know that what you're doing is not wrong. You're not hurting anybody. Be yourself and don't lie. Don't lie about it. It's not necessary. Be happy. Right. We should live ourselves. Be happy. There's so many people out there that are miserable and, just come out.
Do you get that a lot where younger kids come up to you and talk about the inspiration that you are, maybe share some of the struggles they have with their families?
Well, the other day at the 5K, I had a family came up to me, parents, and just thanking me, and that's when Lasia is like you're seeing a real big transformation. And I meet people that I don't know, and they mentioned it to me, so it really is very humbling. I'm very fortunate to be here, getting a little emotional, but it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Lasia, let's talk about, let me squeeze in here if you guys don't mind. Let's talk a little bit about the march and the speakers. Well, I guess we'll start with the talk you guys are having Thursday at the museum.
Oh, yes. That is actually being organized by GALA and the Department of Health Vince Ogden. So it's just basically a panel. We're going to discuss issues in the community, some of the struggles that we've had, how we can work together to improve things, and the different experiences, the variety of people. It's just amazing. And I think the more talks that we have like this, the more visibility that we raise, it's just going to give people the courage to come out and be their true selves. They'll be able to identify and say, hey, I can grow up and I can be a doctor, or I can be a major general, or I can be a lieutenant governor, or an attorney, so that's why we're doing it. It's going to be a lot of fun. The march we're actually moving down to Hagatna this year to be a part of the 75th Liberation Day festivities. So we're celebrating diversity, which is the theme of the carnival, and it's a show, 3 p.m. show time, 4 p.m. go time, and we're just going to walk around Hagatna carrying all of our flags. And then at 5:30, the festivities start. We have DJs, we have several performers coming from Thailand, Hong Kong, Japan, all drag performers. We have some local performers. Mama Char will be performing. We've got some Broadway singers that are going to be performing.
Broadway? Wow.
Yep. We just spoke with a singer yesterday, and she's volunteering to come in and sing some songs, and she did perform in New York and Broadway. We've got some dancers, local dance groups performing, so it's going to be a fun time.
You've shared with me your personal struggle, over the years. Fast forward to 2019, we're living on a tolerant island, but there are still those challenges that members of the LGBTQ plus community face, right?
Oh, absolutely. We've come so far, but we've still a lot of lots of more way to go. I still sometimes I wake up and I'm like, boy, is this the day that something might happen to me? I speak with people all the time. They confide in me. So I know that people are still struggling on this island. Just the other day, there was a person that came in to sign in for the 5K, and that person had never been out before. And, they were just glad that there was an activity that they could.
His family, and he came out to them at the 5K, and he sat down with me at registration. He explained what he's going to do, and he's in tears. And we had some other people that came in from Philadelphia. One person lives here, but they're best friends, and he is transitioning, and so he's doing the Pride festivities here, and in 2 weeks flying to Thailand for surgery.
But yeah, they came all the way out.
People are flying in from Saipan. People are flying in to participate. It's really very humbling, and looking forward to being out there with everybody. And I just encourage, people who are allies, family members, come out. When we had the march last year, I mean, gosh, my campaign team was there, and my family. So, come out, support everybody, and it's always going to be fun with the gays. So
there you go. Hey, gays know how to party. Trust me.
We've got some great sponsors as well. GVB has done such an amazing job working with us, sponsoring our events. We couldn't really do it without them. And we've teamed up with them to help create a safe space here in our little corner of the world, here on Guam, where visitors can come and get married and walk down the street, hand in hand. Because if you look at our neighboring countries, there's still places where people aren't safe and they're discriminated at on a daily basis, and they fear for their lives. So.
Lieutenant Governor talked about people flying in, and for this Pride Month, it sounds like we got a lot of people flying in, and I know that one of the things that collectively you guys have been working on is attracting the LGBTQ plus market to Guam, tourism, LGBTQ plus the tourism. It's a crazy $1 billion market. How do you think that this example of Pride Month and the success of it helps make laying the groundwork easier in the future?
I think that, word is spreading that Guam is a safe place for the community. And I know that GVB is working hard to promote our island. And, having this guy right here, this head honcho right here, as a symbol of, our people who have elected an openly gay lieutenant governor means that we're progressive, they're recognizing that. And I think that every year it's just going to grow and grow and grow.
Let me get over here to the doctor. And, Lieutenant Governor talked about allies and family members. Can you kind of touch on the role that allies play in the community on Guam?
Allies are a huge support. I mean, it's a community member, and when you talk about allies and you talk about trust, and it's chosen family. We have biological family, we have chosen family. For many people that get teenagers, especially when they come out to their parents and they get kicked out of the house, they have nowhere to go but the chosen family, the allies that are out there for them, providing for them. And so, without the allies, we wouldn't be probably nearly as advanced and as far as we are.
Look at Senator Regine as an ally, right?
Yeah.
Senator Regine's an ally. She she introduced a resolution, and a whole bunch of the members of the legislature that are straight are allied with us. And so I think part of it is awareness. The allies enable us to make sure that we don't recede on the amount of civil rights that we've managed to get up until this point. And like I said earlier, right now in the country, there's a war on women's rights. Women's rights and gay rights are usually hand in hand, and I would just say that standing up and making sure that we're not going to waver, and we're going to make sure that we protect the rights that we have here, no matter what.
Yeah, and I mean, let's rewind a few years ago when you went to Mass and Father was, preaching against same-sex marriage, and talk about the courage that it takes, and allies as well, to come out and to say, no, we're not going to stand for that. And
even the Pope has said, leave the gays.
The Pope
alone.
Himself
Has said, leave the gays alone. There's nothing wrong with that. It's okay. You look at
No choirs if the gays are out of the church.
Yeah, exactly. No choirs.
No floor.
Who's going to decorate the church?
Flores. No
Food
song.
afterwards. You look at the other states where people rise up, the allies. Colorado, they now have an openly gay governor, Jared Polis, and he signed into law the two laws banning conversion therapy, and then the law where now you can have an X on your driver's license instead of male or female, so you can identify as yourself. But that was sent to kill committees for years and years because of the Republicans. And it took our allies to speak up and vote these people out of office and actually vote people into office that would make these bills law.
We talk about the progress that we've made and the accomplishments and the tolerance, but obviously, like you said, there's still so much more work to be done. So just real quick, a couple things that you feel like we need to change and we need to work on addressing here, and we'll start with you, Doc.
As far as, there's always things to need to change and address. I mean, we still have businesses, and I encountered it when I was trying to get sponsorship for the 5K. I'd love to, but, if I sponsor this and my name's out there that I'm supportive, then I'll lose business. And that is such an old, antiquated, really in the dark thing to say. That's like saying, well, the smoking ban for businesses, I'll lose my patrons in the bar. Well, no, more people will actually come out because now they're breathing clean air. If you are supportive of the LGBTQ movement, you actually have more business members supporting your business and community, and there is study after study showing that, and even the monthly end audits of businesses that show how their earnings have gone up when they've been supportive, and those that don't want to make cakes, those businesses get shut down very quickly. So you speak out against the LGBTQ movement and people, and it's not going to be probably a good road for you to be on anymore.
Lasia?
Yeah, you recognize in a lot of the major brands out there that like Nike and H&M and Calvin Klein
Gillette.
and Gillette. Oh, that was a great, a really amazing ad, brought me to tears. But as far as working, I think that we still have, a ways to go with equality here in healthcare, housing, education, and those are some of the things that I think that we're going to try and, focus on.
Lieutenant Governor?
For me, it's about healthcare also. Making sure that insurance carriers and our medical programs are carrying the drugs that are out there in the country that reduce, any opportunity to get HIV. That's one area. I think healthcare for trans people is another issue. And I think working with the government to broaden the understanding. I would say that our Guam Public Health is a very proactive. I was at the Hawaii Health and Harm Reduction Center, and they're working with public health to address trans health and to address substance abuse issues in our community. And so I think that's the path is inside the government now that we're in. So,
So many meetings.
Right. There's so. That we're going to try and do our part to try and expand for healthcare for everybody. I mean, healthcare for LGBT people is healthcare for everybody, and that's one area that we know that we need to focus in on.
And, Josh mentioned, the war on women's rights and war on gay rights go hand in hand. So the abortion fights are going on right now, and it's the same thing with the LGBTQ community. The legislature in the United States right now is trying to pass laws where healthcare providers can deny healthcare, emergency healthcare, because of their religious beliefs, and that to me is just hypocrisy at the highest level. And we need to keep fighting about that. Nobody can have any type of belief that's going to deny care to somebody if they come into an emergency room or deny surgery. That would be me saying, "Oh, you're straight. I'm not. Here's a piece of rubber to bite down and enjoy your surgery." I would never do that.
Well, obviously, still a lot of work to be done, and we're out of time. I want to thank you guys. There's so many festivities for Pride Month, and of course, KUM News will be right there in the front. We're in with you guys. So,
all right, thank you. Excellent. Thank you.
Have a great Pride Month, and we'll see you guys at the.
Thank you.
See you in a little bit.
There you go. So again, Dr. Patrick Lasia and Lieutenant Governor Biba Pride.
Biba Pride.
Well, there you go. When in doubt, Biba it out. And thanks for watching my group chat show. My name's Chris Barnett. Adios.